You know, it was at the 4-year mark. It was actually not an animal-related issue. It was with a trainer-related issue. I started seeing the dark side of SeaWorld management towards trainers. And in that instance, it was with Sharon Viets. So I was at 4 years, I probably was a trainer level. It was right before I had been moved back to Shamu Stadium. Sharon was a very high-ranking senior trainer at Shamu Stadium, so she was ahead of me at that time. She had blown her knee out on Corky doing a hug dunk during the show. She took 9 months to rehab the hug dunk, and so she was out for 9 months. When she came back, she had a major waterwork aggression with Ulysses. In this major waterwork aggression with Ulysses, she made the decision, even though Ulysses was not taking the emergency recalls, she was able to hook her foot around the glass, and just with sheer adrenaline, and two, she was a very strong girl, she was able to flip her body completely outside of the pool. And because of that decision, because Tillicum was not, Ulysses was not under control, Mike Scarpuzzi, who was in charge, he was in charge of animal training and all of zoological at SeaWorld, California. He chose to move Sharon to another area, and he moved her to another area, and he put up a memo in all the areas, sea lion and dolphin, and said that Sharon had lost her confidence with the whales because she had made the decision to get out of the pool before Ulysses was under control, and she would remain at Dolphin Stadium until she regained her confidence. So obviously, I mean, imagine this girl who's risen to the highest of the ranks, and then to have this plastered across the rest of the animal training department, and then two, because she had gained some weight during her injury from the 9 months of rehab on her knee, they wouldn't let her do certain behaviors on the dolphins because they said she was too heavy, but yet they let other guys that were there do the behaviors on the dolphins who weighed more than she did. So it was a humiliation tactic, and that was the first realization to me that it showed me there was this dark side, that if you didn't play by the rules, that they were going to punish you, and that even the mightiest of them all, because I viewed Sharon very much as one of the mightiest, that if you didn't play by the rules, you would fall. So that was my first realization of that. Then later on, as I started getting higher up in the ranks and I was started to being privy to more of our decision making with our whales, certainly once we started doing artificial insemination, we started doing that in the year 2000. I personally did that on the female side and on the male side. In 2000, when we did it with Kasaka, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world because we were doing something that was had never been done before. It was the first one ever in the world. But then, as time went on and I saw what we were doing and the risk to the mothers, we lost whales during, childbirth, giving birth to the calf, and that just the whole process of it, 17 to 18 months gestation, how incredibly uncomfortable the females are, how invasive the artificial insemination procedure is, and then you see these mothers, especially the good mothers like Kasaka and Takara, Katina, and they teach these calves, they nurse their young for 2 years, and they teach these calves everything. It's just unbelievable. And then the corporation just strips the calf away from the mother, and just to fit a need, to fit a business need. And now what SeaWorld is saying to try to combat what we say now, to go back against Blackfish, they're coming out and they're saying we do not separate mothers from their calves, but their statement has a little asterisk by it, and their asterisk is their definition of calf is if the calf is still nursing the mother. That's not a proper definition of a calf. That's a calf that's not weaned yet, but the mother, whether it's 12 years old or 2 years old, it's still a calf. It's still the mother's calf. And in the wild, they would stay together for their entire life. So they're trying to once again still twist, even today, and manipulate the public by saying, we don't do that. We don't separate mothers from calves. That's false. They do it. And I can remember when I was an apprentice trainer, Keith was only 20 months old, and we separated him from his mother, Kalina, who was the original baby Shamu. And Keith was still nursing. And I know that because I was a lowly apprentice trainer, so I had to do all the grunt work. So I was outside in freezing weather and doing all the documentations of mother-calf nursing and how often it happened and the frequency of it, and if I observed milk in Keith's mouth, and he still had milk in his mouth, and she was still lactating, and we moved her. So that's a lie. So I can tell you from my own observations that even what they would like to put this asterisk by, that in itself is still a lie. So I just know so many things, you know, as my career went on, I just saw more and more things that we did that it just, there's so many twists and manipulations and outright lies to preserve their business model.